Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Alan Bingham, aka Sax-bit, and I have another tutorial video for you today. This is actually a speedrunning tutorial. It's actually more of an actual stage tutorial because the last couple tutorials that I've done have just been the boss rush for 5-1, which if it's just boss after boss after boss, you're not worrying about stage hazards or anything like that. So this will be a little bit different. This is actually one that I do not currently hold the top world record. I'm tied for second place on this one. I'm 3 seconds behind Zrylics, and his run is absolutely phenomenal. To be honest, I'd love to see him do a tutorial video on it. I feel like I've optimized this as much as I physically can because once again, as I've mentioned in previous videos, I'm quite the noob to the speedrunning community, but I have learned a lot of tricks, especially on this stage. And I gotta tell you, the speedrunning community for this game is absolutely fantastic. When I saw one of the particular tricks in this that I'm about to show you in this video, like I had no idea how the heck they were doing it. And so I hopped in the Discord and I just asked, hey, how are you guys clipping through this ledge? And within minutes, somebody jumped in and was like, oh yeah, this is how you do it. And here, let me share this video with you where, my inputs are even on the screen. So, I mean, yeah, if you guys decide to get into the speed running this game, you've got a great community that'll work with you on how to do stuff. Like I've learned so much in such a short period of time from these wonderful people. So anyway, I just wanted to give a shout out to the community first before we start this. But anyway, this is for stage 1-1 reuse test, and this is normal mode any percent. The last couple of videos have been hard mode since stage 5-1 is only on hard mode. But anyway, I've done a lot of improvement on my time with this stage, and I think at one point in time, I was sitting on like a 147, and I eventually shaved it down to a 137. And let me tell you, shaving 10 seconds off on this stage was a very, very difficult feat. But Zrylics, the one that's first place, by the way, he is currently sitting, I think, on a 134. Like I say, he's 3 seconds ahead. So yeah, his and he says he actually thinks he can get it down to a 132. And let me tell you, if he does that, like more power to him. That'll be fantastic. I would love to see a 132 on this stage. Anyway, with all that being said, let's go ahead and start the video up. Okay, so right off here. So from the get go, there are several things where you're supposed to do a guillotine bounce to get across these ledges. Now, that first one, let me actually rewind it a little bit. First one, if you notice, I rolled down to the ground and then did a guillotine bounce just right off the very edge of it. And that actually is the quickest way to get from one ledge to the other in this specific spot. However, down here, go all the way down and get to the ledge. And here's the nice little speedrunning trick that some of the gracious members of the community were telling me. If you grip these little wedge ledges, these little wedge platforms, right in about this spot, and then you hold up and the direction that you're wanting to go, and then after that, you just press the jump button, you'll clip right through it. So check this out. Now, and as you can tell, I'm just rolling the whole time because you can cover more distance that way. Ednolium in the Discord chat was also talking about try to roll off of these ledges because then you go further onto the ground. Like you try to start your roll right here so that you're rolling all the way off and you can catch more distance that way. If I'm continuously rolling, it doesn't time it that way. Like the spacing doesn't time that way, and so I end up running off of these ledges a lot of times. I think if I want to shave more time off of this, I'm going to have to do a combination of rolling and running. So I'm going to have to, run part of the platform so that I can roll off the ledge. I haven't really experimented much with that. And honestly, that might possibly be what Zrylics did in his run. I really couldn't tell. But But anyway, though, that's another piece of advice here. But yeah, mostly you're just kind of hoofing it and booking it and trying to clip through these wedges early on. And to be honest, the hardest part of this stage is coming up in just a second. So this next part, you have to deflect 3 projectiles, and what you're going to do is on the 3rd projectile, you're going to run toward it and guillotine bounce off of it. And also, if you notice, I got really, really close on there, and that's something else somebody in the Discord said. It actually might have been Zrylics saying this as well. You want to be as close to the projectile throwing machine as possible, because it doesn't start the process of loading another projectile until you've destroyed the previous one. So you want to destroy each one as quickly as possible, so it throws another one as quickly as possible. So you basically just kind of crowd the thing. But then the 3rd one, like I said, instead of hitting it with your sword, you guillotine bounce off of it just to save a tiny little bit of time. Now you're going to see right here, this is the toughest part in this entire stage. You gotta roll up here, jump up to this wedge ledge, and you're going to have to, well, we'll just play this out so you can see what I do. So go there, 1 bounce off the dummy, grabbing. So basically, let's rewind this one more time. Oops. Okay, so wedge ledge, single bounce off a dummy, another wedge ledge, and then jump up here by avoiding this baseball. Now, sometimes if the timing ends up this way, you can actually guillotine bounce off the baseball, which is a little bit faster, but it doesn't always come out that way. It really just depends on how fast you are. And I will say Zrylics on his video does this section so smoothly. Like on that first wedge ledge, if you notice, I hesitate just a tiny little bit because I want to make sure that I'm able to get that single bounce. But honestly, one of the hardest things is getting the single bounce off the dummy. You have to basically roll. Let's look at this again. You basically have to roll off of this platform, like right at the very edge, and then do a guillotine bounce at the very, very, very top of this dummy, and just hope that you have enough forward momentum and that you've started your guillotine bounce early enough, at the top of it to be able to grip this ledge. There are a lot of times that you'll just straight up miss this and fall down. This is a lot of trial and error and a lot of practice. But anyway, though. And in this next part, you're just going to be rolling through these things, and you are going to have to do a combination of running and rolling to make sure that you don't roll into them. You want to roll through them. And then right here, this is just... Oh, and here's another thing too. Okay, so this is the part of the tutorial where you're doing hypercharges to knock down these big spiky log pillar things. And you want to make sure that you don't do that dashing thrust move. You want to make sure that you roll slash, roll slash, roll slash, because every time you do the thrust move, it actually slows you down. And that was a problem that I was having before, is I kept accidentally doing the thrust, and it was adding like 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds to my time. So make sure that every time that you have a hypercharge ability and you're trying to destroy these big things, make sure you do a roll into a regular slash. It will be faster. And then there's a dummy coming up with hypercharge that you're just going to guillotine bounce off of. Don't worry about slashing that with your sword. And then just kind of hoof it up here. I probably hoofed that up a little too slow. And then right here, you got another hypercharge, and you notice you got 2 dummies. You can actually ignore this first dummy entirely. Just run straight up to this dummy and bounce off of it. And then once again, you saw how I rolled through here and did not do the dashing slash move or whatever. And then right here, this is where Ryu tells you to how to manually charge your hypercharge. Now here's the thing, though. There's another one of these blockades that's across these spikes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to charge up another hypercharge while I'm still up here, and I'm going to roll into these spikes, and then I'm going to jump up against this other one that's over here to the right and let it damage me. And while it's damaging me, I'm going to slash it, and then I'm just going to move forward while I'm still caught in midair. So charge, hypercharge, jump up, get damage, slash it, and roll right through it. Then roll, roll, roll. And then there's another one where, instead of grabbing the little ledge, it's actually better to guillotine bounce. And actually, that's quite the leap. So you have got to guillotine bounce off the very, very, very front of this. You got to catch it at just the right spot in order to be able to make this distance. But if you can do it, it works. If you don't mind having a slightly slower run, you can just kind of roll forward and do the clipping through the ledge if you want to. But this is faster though. If you notice, I'm keeping my energy kind of low. I'm going to continue to do this. I'm going to manually charge some hypercharge shots when I don't even have to. Also, make sure that you learn the pattern of these dummies. In order to optimize this, you just have to be able to go through these dummies as fast as humanly possible. So you don't want to be second guessing this. But yeah, I keep manually charging my hypercharge to keep my energy down. Then slash these last couple and then go here. And the reason I'm trying to keep my energy low, also, if you notice, the checkpoints are not refilling my health, and that's because I've got red talisman equipped that have basically shut off those checkpoints. Because I do not want my health refilled. I want my health as low as humanly possible so that Ryu can kill me in one hit. As most of you probably know, you can complete this stage without defeating Ryu. Now you're not going to get an S++ on it unless you do, and I do actually have an S++ on this on both normal mode and hard mode. but anyway, though, but just for any percent, like I said, this is the normal any percent category. Just die to him as quickly as you can to get the best possible time, just get the stage over with. So I've got my health extremely low. Ryu's going to one-shot me and the stage will be over. I'm actually going to roll into him just so he can hit me quicker. See, there you go. So yeah, that's the stage, and as you can see, I mean, it's actually, I still got S rank on it just because I have 2 red talisman equipped for whatever reason. I really didn't need both of them, but anyway, though, yeah, I don't win the duel and I don't have a perfect dojo run, but that doesn't matter because this is any percent, and 137 is my time. Now, I would highly, highly, highly recommend checking out Zrylics' video. In fact, I'm probably going to go try to track that down, and I'll include that include that link in the description of this video. And he does a lot of the same things. Like I basically did a worse carbon copy of what he was doing. In fact, he helped me out a lot in the chat. He was sharing screenshots and giving me pointers and stuff like that. So basically, yeah, I was basically trying to carbon copy him, but just unfortunately not as effectively. So if you really want to see the most optimized version of this, you should really check out his video. But anyway, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching the tutorial, and please like and subscribe, and keep watching my videos, and keep playing Ragebound. Talk to you later.